Hello, everyone, and welcome to the semifinals of the StarCityGames.com Power 9 series here on the SCG Tour. Cedric Phillips, Todd Anderson, we are here in the booth getting ready to watch reigning Vintage World Champion Andy Markiton. He's a Big Shops fan, and he is in second overall seed here this weekend against Stephen Quinn playing Outcome Storm. We are new to Vintage here, but this should be fun, as that is a, I can't believe I'm doing this. This is a, man, a Mock Sapphire and a Soul Ring. Okay.
Settle down, Cedric.
This is fun. I don't have to watch like Goblin Chain Whirler. Who cares about that card? Phyrexian Revoker. Ooh, we're going to find out what that's going to name.
Well, both players know each other's deck list, so he's going to pick whatever card he thinks is most likely to beat him. The explosiveness of Black Lotus being one of those potential threats.
Black Lotus is the name there with the Phyrexian Revoker. That's a Mishra's Factory?
Yeah, that one's not the one that's busted.
Yeah, that's not a workshop. Okay, here we go. Island. Mox Jet. This is also going to test my card knowledge a little bit here, too. Mana Vault.
There it is.
That one taps for 3.
It does, but it doesn't untap as normal. During your upkeep, you can pay 4 mana to untap it.
Okay.
It's like a one-shot Black Lotus-ish.
Now, here's a Preordain. Scry 2. That's your classic mono artifact. I love old school Magic.
It's pretty hilarious to me. The card Ponder, too good, restricted.
Preordain a 4 of?
Preordain a 4 of in every blue deck that wants that effect.
So Stephen Quinn going to do a little preordaining here.
I can't wait till they restrict Preordain and then Serum Vision just becomes a 4 of.
No way.
That's
No
what happened in Modern.
That Serum Visions is too garbagey for these players.
Yeah, people thought Preordain was too garbagey too, and look where it's at now.
Mox Pearl. All right, pass the turn back. We're going to go over to Markiton. So nothing too bad happened to Andy that turn. So Andy's going to draw. Revoker on Lotus. Going to come in for 2.
The main kill condition from Stephen Quinn's deck here, it's very easy to assemble. It's Voltaic Key and Time Vault. This combination virtually gives you infinite turns, but he does have some other means to win. Blightsteel Colossus to go along with Tinker is a very powerful effect against shops and can mostly invalidate a lot of their disruptive elements because it's just a one-shot spell. You're not trying to cast 10 things in one turn, paradoxical outcome. It's just a, push, click, repeat. Hope that 11/11 indestructible, poison infect or whatever.
It'll probably get
good
it
enough.
done.
It's good enough.
All right, so Foundry Inspector came down into another Revoker that's a little bit cheaper, named Mana Vault.
Yep.
So Mana Vault and Lotus done for right now. Does that matter though? Uh-oh, what do we got here? Ooh, Paradoxical Outcome. Okay.
4 mana, draw 3 cards. It effectively only costs 2 mana because he is bouncing 2 of the Power 9 Moxen.
So I was talking to Andy Markiton a little bit earlier this weekend, and he said they might need to restrict Paradoxical Outcome, mostly because when players are going off with PO, it's kind of like when you're playing against Eggs in Modern or other Solitaire combo decks where the opponent just has to sit there a bunch. It is very powerful, obviously, but not a great play experience as well.
Oh, yeah, let's restrict Paradoxical Outcome. Meanwhile, there's 4 Shops decks in the top 4 or top 8. And this coming from a Shops player.
Hey, he's the world champion. I got to believe him. I got to believe him.
You could also believe that he's a little biased.
Maybe. Voltaic Key. So replay a Mox Pearl, replay a Mox Jet, replay Mana Crypt, play a Voltaic Key. That's half of that combo as we're going to head it back over to the world champion and maybe your StarCityGames.com Power 9 Series champion. Going to tap a Soul Ring.
It looks like Markiton actually might have another Phyrexian Revoker, and he can name Voltaic Key here, not only to shut off some potential mana production with something like a future Soul Ring, but also just locks down the combo of Voltaic Key and Time Vault.
So we got another Foundry Inspector, which means artifacts are going to get even cheaper here for Andy. They're going to be cheaper by 2. He's going to give some beatdowns here with his Foundry Inspector and his 2 Revokers. So the thing about Shops now is it's a lot more aggressive. Plays cards like Walking Ballista and Arcbound Ravager.
Yeah, the days of Slash Panther are done.
Oh, boy. Lodestone Gullum. That card I know is restricted for being way too good.
Yeah, that's the one that's too good. Look, don't take anything I say seriously. I love Vintage. I don't think that anything should happen to the format unless the entire collective of Vintage agrees upon it. But Lodestone Golem is not the problem. Let's be realistic.
Kidding me? I think it's a 5. They can play on the turn 1. It's a 5-3. The game is over.
Lightning Bolt, Swords, Plowshares.
They don't play those
Yeah,
cards.
you should. Play fair.
Dude, get out of here.
Oh, I
Get out of here
I can't
with play
kill you
fair.
on turn 1 because you played a Lodestone Golem, eh?
Get out of here with play fair, okay? Get that out of here. That is, if you want to play fair, go play your stupid standard deck.
Let's restrict Trinosphere. That's the problem.
They will never unrestrict Trinosphere, mark my words.
Oh, I believe it.
That's never happening.
They're also never going to restrict Workshop, so there's no reason to even discuss it.
Okay, we're going to Force of Will. Looks like Force of Willing a Lodestone Golem. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. That card's probably a little too good to have on the battlefield. Just my opinion. Okay, Hangerback Walker. It's going to be for free, but technically he's going to pay 1 mana because he's doing it via Foundry. Foundry Inspector. Okay.
Yeah. X equals 1. Reduce the cost by 2.
Okay, so Markiton has lethal for next turn. So that means Stephen Quinn actually needs to like do stuff now.
Yeah, he's got half the combo with the Voltaic Key. Looks like he has Tolarian Academy, so he has plenty of mana to work with. He just needs some sort of tutor effect to really solidify this game. He had to exile a Paradoxical Outcome, it looks like, with the Force of Will.
Yeah.
And that card could have potentially drawn him into his combo, but at the cost of... wow, that might be it.
That's a Yawgmoth's Will.
But at the cost of a Paradoxical Outcome.
All right, Yawgmoth's Will gets exiled. Okay, now we're going to play an Academy. That's going to tap for, what, 4?
Yep, 4 right now, and that looks like he's going to just tap Academy, play Paradoxical Outcome, draw 4 cards. But then he only currently has access to 3 mana with Tundra and the 2 Moxen.
Well, he's going to start with a Preordain.
Yeah, because if he hits the Time Vault right here off this Preordain, he has enough mana to just take an extra turn right now, and that would lock the game up.
Okay. All right, Vintage Superstar. It's a good thing I made you play this stuff on the Versus series.
Dude, I learned so fast.
All right, Academy is going to tap for 4 blue, which is going to be enough to cast Paradoxical Outcome. All right, so going to cast that from the graveyard via the Yawgmoth's Will. For you Modern Storm fans out there, that's the much better Past in Flames. Like a million times better. All right, 3, 4 for Stephen Quinn.
I don't think it's going to be enough. He needs to draw. Let's see. You need how much mana to combo off? You need 2 mana to cast the Time Vault, 1 mana to cast the key, and 1 mana to activate. So he needs 4. He only has access to 2 Moxen right now.
Well, who says he needs to go off this turn?
I mean, there's a lethal power on the battlefield. I'm assuming he needs to go off this turn.
What if he finds a Time Walk, man?
That's true, but he also needs access to blue mana.
That's true.
So he needs to find exactly Mox Pearl or Mox Sapphire.
Okay. He has already played land, played Academy.
Yes.
There's 3 Mox Opals in here. That's blue mana.
That's true, too. This deck is fairly degenerate, using Mox Opal sometimes just as effectively a Lotus Petal because the second one, is legendary. But putting it to good use when you draw it naturally.
It's a good thing Stephen Force will that Lodestone Golem. That would have been bad news. What is
So he had
that?
1 mana floating. That's a Demonic Tutor. I believe it's an alternate printing of that. So he had the 1 mana floating off the Tolarian Academy, I believe, because he's only tapping 1 for it. Maybe it's Vampiric Tutor.
We'll get confirmation on what that card is real quick. I don't want to tell anybody any wrong information at home.
Well, it exiled itself, so now I have no clue.
Well, it exiled because Will got cast.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Ooh, you might be thinking. Okay, so it's Vampiric. Okay. It's fun to watch along at home.
So Steven does have 1 copy of Gitaxian Probe in his deck, so if it's Vampiric, and he has a Probe in hand, he could go get Mana Vault, Mana Crypt, excuse me.
Mana Crypt, yeah.
Mana Crypt,
Vault's locked up.
Probe to draw it naturally, play the Mana Crypt to get his 4th mana, and if he also drew the Time Vault, he has enough mana to play and activate.
Well, problem is Time Vault's in the deck. Right there. He's thinking about getting Time Vault, though. He's going to consult his hand first. Couple of lands, those don't really matter.
He has to survive this turn. Seems very difficult.
Yeah, hasn't searched anything yet. Just consulting the grip.
And the fact that Vampiric Tutor puts it on top of the deck means he needs something to be able to draw that card if it's something that can get him out of this situation.
Yeah. Huh.
One thing about Vintage that I will say that it's not exactly ideal for viewers is that a lot of the decision-making process is done all at once from the hand. it's a hidden information zone. It's occasionally difficult for us to see the hand and know exactly where we're at. In Standard and Modern, people play out their hands fairly quickly. The battlefield gets gummed up. Combat happens. In this format, combat is very regularly one-sided. One deck's trying to attack, the other one's trying to find a combo.
Now, you see it with Andy Markiton inside of the battlefield. All those creatures that are trying to kill Stephen Quinn. Obviously, those creatures have text that matters, making artifacts cheaper. And, of course, Revoker shutting a couple things off. In this instance, Mana Vault and Black Lotus, which, look, I don't know. Those seem like good names to me.
Yeah, sure.
Come on.
He's the world champ. I'm just going to trust everything he does.
If you're naming Black Lotus, you can't be too wrong. Okay, there's the probe.
There's the probe. He only has one. It is restricted, I believe.
All right, so now
either
draw.
that or he's only playing one probe, and I.
So now we get to see what he vamped for. Okay, Sensei's top in hand. Okay, so it looks like he got a Mox Opal. Nice.
So now he has access to blue, so if he drew Hercule's Recall, he could actually buy himself one more turn against all of those creatures from Andy Markiton.
Looks like he has a Repeal in hand.
Repeal is somewhat of a free roll targeting the Mox Opal because it spin a blue, bounce it, draw a card.
Yeah, does he want to repeal his Mox? It looks like he does want to repeal his Mox. Okay. So that gets him a card deeper into his deck. Picked up a Preordain. I wonder how much that helps.
He's a little short of being able to play top, activate, and Hercule's Recall. Unless, of course, he has a second Mox Opal hiding out in there.
He's going to use the red Mox to play top. All right, now here's Mox Opal again.
He can just take a natural draw off the top two if he thinks that his only way out is the Hercule's Recall.
Or Peeling Time Walk.
Or Peeling Time Walk. And if he doesn't have another mana-producing card in hand, I think that just drawing a card blind is the correct play because he has two cards off the top that can just get him out of this immediately.
So he's going to spin top. Ooh, there's a Time Vault there, but I don't think he has enough mana to do all that. Late. There's a Mox Emerald in there.
Legacy Duel for Duels players. That is time in the round. Active player finish.
I think he's in some trouble now. The mana's really starting to constrict him on what he can do here.
Yeah, I mean, he's only spent and used like 14 mana this turn. It's really adding up. He only cast Paradoxical Outcome, Yawgmoth's Will, Paradoxical Outcome, or whatever.
Yeah, he can't get out of it. All right, so Andy Markiton, the reigning world champion, shops the deck that he loves, is going to win him game number one over Stephen Quinn playing Outcome Storm. So this is going to be a real hoot here because we're going to take a commercial and go over the sideboards. I don't know, you might know quite a bit. I'll do a little bit of guessing in between. But first, a couple messages from our sponsors. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at some sideboards here. We're going to start with Stephen Quinn, who's got 3 Graph Trigger's Cage, 2 Campbell, Council of Allocation, 2 Tormod's Crypt, 2 Hercule's Recall. In Island, a Mystic Remora. Love it. Caracas, Fragmentize, Flusterstorm, and a Mindbreak Trap. So, gotta bring in Hercule's Recall. I think that's pretty obvious, right?
Yeah, so Hercule's Recall in any of those spots would have bought Stephen Quinn an enormous amount of time. Even if it's just one turn, that's usually enough. You get to reset some of your mana artifacts from Fraction Revoker for a turn. You get some breathing room. Stephen was really looking for one of those types of cards in Game 1 and was just unable to find it. Aside from that, I think the Fragmentize is a no-brainer. That's just a 1-mana way to deal with most of the problematic cards that Markiton could play. And normally, Chalice of the Void would make Fragmentize a little worse, but since it's restricted, there's only 1 copy, and it's able to efficiently and effectively destroy most of the cards any Markiton could play.
All right, let's look at any Markiton sideboard. 4 Graph Trigger's Cage, 3 Null Rod, 2 Sorcerer's Spyglass, 2 Precursor Golem, 2 Chief of the Foundry, a Dismember, and Tormod's Crypt. He can get a little more aggressive if he wants to. Do we want anything else here? Spyglass probably good.
Yeah, more Pithing Needle type effects with Sorcerer Spyglass seems great. Null Rod's very good because the Outcome Storm deck has so many mana rocks with Mana Crypt, Mana Vault, all the Moxen, even Mox Opal. So that one is definitely very good. I think Precursor Golem is fine in matchups like this. It's a very explosive card that can deal a ton of damage for very little investment and without fear that your opponent will have a removal spell.
Well, as these players shuffle up and get ready for game number 2, can't afford vintage cards? We getcha. We gotcha. How about some popper singles? How about that? How about a discount on some commons and uncommons?
Hey, here's this $10,000 card that both players played. You want to buy a standard bearer?
I know you probably want that Black Lotus. That's not a popper single. We got some Gurmag Anglers, some Standard Bears, some Lightning Bolts, some Fairy Miscreants, and a whole bunch more. Go to srcgames.com/weekly sale, where no power will be on sale. It ends on Monday, and guess what? Monday with a new sale, no power on that either. We'll see you there. We'll see you there.
I mean, personally, I think they should just get rid of the reserve list.
Oh, just stop.
I've had that conversation a few times this weekend. I don't know, man.
What does no ban list vintage look like?
You mean no restricted
list? Yeah.
Actually, no ban list means a demonic consultation, 1-mana draw 7s.
Okay, no, leave that ban.
Cards are banned.
Leave that ban. Leave that ban.
Shahrazad is probably banned, I would guess, because it creates a sub game, and that's stupid.
Can we do no restricted modern for just one
vintage?
Or no restricted vintage for just one?
Sure,
screw
man.
it, one open.
You're
just
the
one.
boss.
No, actually, I'm not. I have a boss above me.
You are the mini boss.
That's my new pitch. I'm gonna go to Big Boss. I'm gonna say, hey, I think that a no restricted vintage tournament that'll fill up.
Let's just remove the 4X rule too. You can play. This is if you want to play 93, 94 Magic, you can play 32 Black Lotuses.
Perfect.
10 channels. 10 fireballs. Or whatever.
I wonder what's the best deck. No restricted vintage.
It's like one kill condition, Lotus, Wheel, Fortune, and then you just find it every time.
Keep doing that.
Yeah. Find it every time, get infinite mana.
It's got to be some crazy storm deck.
It's one Fireball, a bunch of Lotus, a bunch of Wheel Fortune. I'm guessing. I have no idea.
A channel.
No bandless modern turbo.
I'm not.
If you would like to join us for one final game of no bandless modern, you're too late.
Andy asking if he can maybe get another look at Steven's deck list here really quick. Our head judge there, Abe Core, is going to provide his ruling in just a moment.
Well, with these deck lists have a ton of one-ofs in them, and normally for events that we do coverage on, the players are allowed to look at each other's deck list before each game starts. However, I believe both players had presented their decks, and the head judge ruled accordingly.
All right, so I just got a heinous message from Rob Pisano, who, first of all, Rob, thanks for watching the coverage. I'll see you in Vegas in a couple of days. But don't tell me 15 Lotus, 45 recalls. Dude, the 4 of rules in effect. Get that out of here. The 4 of rules in effect.
I just told you I'm going to play 20 Lotus, 20 Wheel of Fortune, generate infinite mana, and then fireball you.
The 4 of rules in effect. Ooh, we're going to start with a Brainstorm. So I bet in this format, it is appropriate to cast a Brainstorm right away instead of like, Brainstorm, fetch, shuffle.
AJ Sachet, eat your heart out.
Shuffle, I'm going to wait. The best Brainstorm is the one that's not cast. Get that out of here. This is how Brainstorm is meant to be played. Right now.
I was playing a Legacy event in the top 8. I believe I was playing against Chris Van Meter, and I was on the play in game 1, and I snapped off a turn 1 brainstorm. And AJ was in the booth, and I just yelled from the feature match area, "How'd you like that one, AJ?"
3 blue with the Black Lotus, by the way.
Someone just dropped a 10K card into the graveyard.
Quick little Black Lotus strategy.
I don't know how much these cards. In my head, every single piece of power is a card. It's just one is a nicer card than another.
Gonna sacrifice the Misty Rainforest to Steven. What's coming next?
I don't know, but this is the type of stuff that people who don't play Vintage are terrified of.
No, I love this.
No, I love it. You know, I'm sure that Andy Markiton is not loving it with his no Force of Will deck.
Yeah, well, guess what? Andy might be on the play for Game 3. We'll see how much fun Steven has then. Turn 1 Trinisphere. See ya.
Yeah, there are no Mind Break traps from Andy Markiton's side of things, so this is literally just an F6 right now.
Can Steven go off on turn 1? My assumption is yes, his deck can go off on turn 1.
No clue. Let's see what he does, and then we'll Mystical Tutor. There it is. 1 blue mana.
All right.
All these alternate art cards, give me the Visions one. I know what it looks like.
That's a pretty one.
Give me the F&M promo or whatever.
That's nice. I like that picture.
What's the clock or the hour? I don't even know what set that is. Commander 3 Electric Boot.
Eternal Masters,
okay.
Bro. Ooh. All right, Ancestral Recall. That's the one you want from Mirage.
That is a 2 mana divination is what's happening right now.
Stop.
Well, he's minus a card on the Mystical Tutor, and then he has to pay 2 mana total to draw 3 cards. 2 mana divination.
All right.
I mean, all right. Obviously, he puts Ancestral in the graveyard, so
later
on you can Yog Moss Will and go bananas.
Yeah. I think if you call Ancestral Recall 2 mana divination, a Vintage player would slap you in the face. How dare you?
If you Mystical Tutor for an Ancestral Recall, that's literally what it is. It's a 2 mana divination. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Ooh, Academy in there too.
And he burned a Black Lotus, so really you're only drawing 1 card. It's it's not even that good.
All right, 3 cards coming.
He's trying to do some busted stuff. Now he has no more mana.
He might just be setting up a nice little graveyard here. Found a library, a couple other lands. Just going to pass the turn back. Make him pay, Andy.
Looks to be a little flooded. We'll see. Library of Alexandria, obviously a very powerful card, but you do need 7 cards in hand to activate it.
Ancient Tomb, Sphere of Resistance. There we go.
GG.
There we go.
The end.
Make them pay. That's a paradoxical outcome. Not that good of one.
Not right now. This game is might end up going pretty long. Null Rod from Andy Markiton's side looks like it could be the dagger, though. But, again, Steven Quinn does have access to up to 3 Hercules recalls after sideboard.
That's a pretty big deal. Sphere of Resistance from Exodus. All spells cost an additional 1 to play. Shops doesn't mind that. Additional mana for them with a Workshop and all their the 2 mana lands. They don't care.
Yep, Thorn of Amethyst, a very similar card that usually sees more play than Sphere of Resistance in formats like Legacy. Decks that are heavy on creatures occasionally will sideboard Thorn of Amethyst to punish spell-based decks like Ad Nauseam Storm combo.
Ooh, there's a Null Rod. All right, so we're getting the shop set up. Pun very much intended. So we're going to head back to Steven Quinn.
So the Mox here costing 1 paid for via Ancient Tomb with 1 floating. And then the Mox plus Wasteland, casting the Null Rod for 3 mana.
True or false? Null Rod, best flavor text in Magic history.
Oh, absolutely.
True?
It's the most subtle dig of all time.
Nice.
I love it.
That Preordain costs 2 mana there for Steven Quinn.
Now, it looks like Steven being a little bit flooded here is going to be pretty good. He's not as reliant on his mana rocks to do the heavy lifting. And with Null Rod on the battlefield, hitting those land drops should be important.
Our backup match is going to Game 3. Hopefully you got some time to jump over there. Jeskai Control-ish with Planeswalkers against Shops. Could have a Shops mirror in the finals, in which case I will be insufferable.
Yeah, let's restrict Paradoxical Outcome.
Look, it's I think he's right.
You should be mad that I'm right.
This is a Chief of the Foundry. All right, so we found our clock. Pass the turn back.
It's a clock-ish.
Well, you got to get the party started somehow.
Yeah.
Go back over to Stephen Quinn.
You know what I do when my cards don't do anything?
What's that?
I turn them upside down so I don't make a mistake such as trying to tap it for mana. Andy Markiton is so well versed in this deck, he doesn't even have to do that.
No, no. Both these guys are great vintage players. They know their Moxes don't do anything right now. There's not going to be any accidental tappings here. That Null Rod, it does nothing, as they say.
It doesn't do anything. No, said Gerard.
It does
nothing.
All right. Time walk.
I hate the Explore time walks.
Gotta do what you gotta do. Play land.
All right. Hopefully we do something else cool before that.
Yep, Andy just making sure that Steven, he fetched.
He's on the play. He's playing his 4th land.
Yep.
Copacetic.
We are all good. No land drops missed. Always good to check, though. And now Stephen Quinn's going to untap, and he'll draw a card.
I'm curious if that puts him at 6 or 7. I want to know if this Library of Alexandria is turned on yet.
No, he's only got 5.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, he's far away.
I believe he has Tolarian Academy, but he's trying to protect it from the Wasteland from Andy's side. He wants to get a few more artifacts in play, have one big turn with Tolarian Academy before it hits the bin.
Ooh, Lodestone Golem has been found.
Yeah, he's still 1 short, though, because that Sphere of Resistance is not a Thorn of Amethyst.
Yeah? We're going to fire up the factory?
Love it.
Looks like we're going beatdowns.
Yeah, let's get in there. Got nothing else to do, might as well.
All right, this is going to be an attack here for 6, I believe. Mm-hmm. All right. Nothing better to do, just sitting behind a Null Rod. It's going to be an attack for 5, pardon me. Sitting behind a Null Rod and a Sphere, hoping it's good enough. It's looking pretty good right now. All Stephen Quinn can do is draw and pass.
Yeah, and I just want to point out Andy Markiton has yet to draw the marquee card in the deck.
That's correct.
Mishra's Workshop, and he's doing work.
He's doing just fine.
Stephen Quinn's doing a lot of fancy stuff. Paradox Outcome, draw 4 or 5 cards. Tolarian Academy, create 4 or 5 mana. Doesn't matter.
Didn't matter.
Sphere of Resistance, GG. Null Rod, GG.
Yeah. Definitely Null Rod, GG. He's going to use Ancient Tomb to fire up. Wants to leave Wasteland open. Pretty smart. Like
He
that.
didn't do that last turn. He was perhaps cognizant that his life total was getting a little low.
Oh, he kind of switched it up, though, because like Stephen Quinn has 6 cards in hand right now.
Yep.
So said, now that you have 6, I'll use Wasteland, blow it up, so now you can't draw a card.
Correct.
It's pretty smart.
Heads up play. Previous turn, he opted to tap the Wasteland. But once Stephen was about to draw up to 7, he wants to go ahead and take care of that library.
All right, what do we got? Got to pay 1 for the Mox Opal. Doesn't do anything because of Null Rod.
That's not right.
It does nothing.
There you go.
Because Null Rod, sorry.
Nice.
Thank you for the reminder. Director. Funny guy down there.
I don't know what you want from me, man. You paying me to be here.
No, another Wasteland. Brutal. He's going to use this one now.
It's a lot of damage. If Steven has a Hercule's Recall, I think this would be a prime spot to EOT cast it. You go to 1 off your fetch lands.
I don't think he has much of anything.
Looks like a Force Will, Paradox Outcome. He has a Tolarian Academy that currently can tap for 2 mana. The problem is now he needs to cast Hercule's Recall during Andy Markiton's attack step because he's at such a low life total, which will allow Andy to it bounces all his artifacts, but he can still recast those artifacts before before the end of the turn.
All right, what do we got? Fragmentize. Okay. Breaking out, maybe.
We're doing it.
Got to get that Null Rod out of here, though, too.
Yeah, currently the Tolarian Academy taps for 2.
Yeah, 2's not very much.
And the 2 fetch lands gives him a total of 4 mana right now. But there's no more Sphere, so he has a chance to do something.
It's kind of interesting. I think you probably got to kill the Sphere effect first, right, before you kill the Null Rod, just to make things cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, they're effectively the same thing on this battlefield. The Sphere probably long-term a little more effective. Just because Null Rod's currently only shutting down 2 cards. It could potentially shut down future cards, but for every spell that Stephen Quinn plays, the Sphere resistance hurts him.
Yeah, he's going to sack that one too.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, he's got to sack that one too.
Just the
little
old-
little miscalculation. It happens.
That's fine. You reassess. You realize, okay, I do need that extra mana. My mocks don't work. Mox double currently actually turned off anyway, so.
Yeah, that's true actually. So 2 mana with the Academy and the 2 lands means that he does have enough mana to cast Paradoxical Outcome. Only gonna draw 2 cards though.
Only drawing 2 cards, and his Moxen are shut off. So even if you recast them, it costs him.
Balance. Goulet.
Oh no.
Okay.
But
What? Oh no, the
still
factory.
has the Mistress Factory. How does he get out of that?
I don't know. No, I think he's gonna lose. Maybe Andy. Oh, I don't know. I don't think Andy's gonna miss it.
Miss what? He's been
He's
attacking
he's been attacking the whole game. Yeah.
every turn
It's true.
since turn 4.
That's true.
Smush. Smush him, Andy.
He's got. Yeah, he doesn't have anything. He's got Mind Break Trap. Uh-oh, Andy's got a question.
Wait, does he have Mind Break Trap? I didn't think I saw it in his sideboard. Are you
I'm
talking
pretty
about
sure.
Stephen Quinn?
Yeah, he's got it in his hand. Pretty sure. Am I wrong? Yeah, he's got one in his sideboard. Right there.
Why?
I don't know. Shops does busted stuff on turn 1. They do they can play like 4 spells on
They
turn 1.
can.
Maybe you counter the last one.
Sure.
Look, these guys on the top 8, not me. I don't think Mind Break Trap coming in is an accident. Markin's got a question here for our head judge, Abe.
I think Steven knows he's just dead. And he's just like, maybe he won't attack with a Mistress Factory.
You got to play to your outs, right?
But that's not the look of a man who's surviving this turn.
you got to play to your outs. If he doesn't attack, you could maybe peel Hurkyl's Recall. The other thing too. That's interesting. So would Andy even have a reason to play around Hurkyl's Recall this turn? Because if Steven had it, he wouldn't need to cast Balance, right?
I mean, he still gets to have a land drop for the turn with the Mistress Factory. He still has access to 3 mana, potentially 4 mana with his Mox Emerald getting unlocked for a moment. So it just it's a fog. It doesn't even do anything to the actual board. He has to pay for his spells again.
Yeah, I just think that if Stephen Quinn had a Hurkyl's Recall, I think he would have he'd use that instead of Balancing.
Yeah, he would have main phased it and then just tried to come
and
off
try to
with
do
the
some
Paradox
stuff.
outcome.
Yeah. So I don't think that Andy has to play around that. But hey, this is top 4, up a game. Sometimes you might outthink yourself. Okay, so there is the Wasteland. Going to float 2 blue.
Let's move to beginning combat with no mana floating. Or just force Steven to do something right here. This Wasteland before moving to the declare attacker step actually prevents him.
Fire it up. Yep. He sees it. Andy Markiton going to win this match over Stephen Quinn. 2-0. Shops, shops, shops. Shops, shops, shops. Shops.
You are way too happy about a prison deck winning.
This is my favorite kind of match.